Hey, what's up guys, Sermon11 here. Welcome back to my team romantic comedy SNAFU 2 spoiler review or discussion. So I just kind of took a quick break, get some water, rest my voice a little bit, and this is also where I kind of took a little break on the series. I stopped watching it for a few days. I was kind of busy because there was the summer 2015 anime season started and I was trying to watch all that stuff. But within this review, I'm at episode 9 at this point. And, you know, this is where I started watching the show again. So, Hikigaya is back at home, basically beating himself up over what he said. And I'm sure we've all reflected on a situation and noticed we may have done the wrong thing or something of the sort. You know, we may have said the wrong thing. And Komachi, his sister, comes in there and talks to him about the situation. And after finishing this anime, like she already knew. She already knew like what was going on. But you know, after finishing this anime, it seems like everyone is aware of the situation but Hikigaya, unless he's avoiding the problem, and it's like a really good actor. Because his teacher, Shizuka, mentions that wanting to protect the two is what's causing the problem. And I forgot if he was actually confused on what she was saying or not, but eventually he's gonna become aware of what's going on. So it's just, I don't know. This is a bad situation. So things at the club are awkward between the three. Yui sits really close to Yukine, and Yukino is like just a little bit more bashful than usual. This is kind of, we're starting to see like the change in her character more. And a better way of describing it is like she doesn't seem as strong as she used to be. And so they're helping Iraha. I'm gonna look that up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop this one more time and I'm gonna look up how to pronounce her name because I know I was pronouncing it wrong and I want to fix it. So they're helping Iraha out with her situation and everything. You know, the winter or the Christmas celebration is still kind of going on. And I just love the subtle details in this series, like with the two girls noticing how Hikigaya carries Iraha's bag and they're just like, huh, you know. So Shizuka, she gives the kids tickets to Destinyland, and it's basically Disneyland, but, you know, without being sued for using the name. But then it kind of turns out that, you know, everyone's there. Hayato, Yumiko, Tobei, and Hina. And everyone is having fun, taking pictures. Yumiko is complaining about things. And then the scenes for Hikigaya with the two girls are increasing in number, but it's for a good reason. But I guess the main things are concerning the fact that Yui wants to come back to this place, either meaning she wants to go with Hikigaya or still have them be friends and return to this place around this time next year. Yui runs off with the others, leaving Hikigaya and Yukino. And was this a test or something? I try to understand everything in the series, but some things are still a mystery. So the two get on a ride and they start to discuss things. And the other thing is that Yukino tells Hikigaya to help her out someday, which is what will happen in later episodes. And I like the way they did it because as they're on the ride, she says it right before the drop. And then after the ride, they're discussing things, and Yukino mentions how she was the obedient and unproblematic child, and that led to people viewing her as stuck up and unlikable. And that's so true, and it reminds me of my days back in middle school and elementary school. You know, I tried to do everything that was right, but other people didn't like that, but they were bad students, so that's on them. She points out how Hikigaya and her sister have things that she doesn't, and she wants something different. And Yukino is having an identity crisis. She used to want to be like her sister, but now she's on her own, and she still needs to find herself. If her problem is solved, it might help her with confessing to Hikigaya. And that's what I got from this scene. And it's really intriguing how this information is presented. They never directly talk about the love, but it's implied often throughout the show. And then there was another great scene. Well, this show is filled with great scenes, but Iraha finally confesses to Hayato, and he rejects her. And I like this scene because it's from Hikigaya's perspective. The fireworks are going off, and there are no words, but you can see the two talking to each other. And then after that, Hikigaya and Hayato are talking about the situation that just occurred. And Hayato calls Hikigaya amazing and says he changes people. Hayato wants his own harem. It's obvious. It's confirmed. And then Hayato was talking about how Iraha's feelings were intended for another person. And that's so strange. Like, why would you confess to someone if you don't mean it? It's obvious that it's Hikigaya, but did he seriously get Iraha like that? I mean, she liked Hayato, right? And then I guess suddenly Hikigaya's magic made her like him or something. It's just so odd to me. I mean, she even cried about the situation, but hey, women are a mystery, I guess. It's just, maybe she liked Hayato and she wasn't getting anything from that situation. So she's with Hikigaya more than Hayato, and then those feelings just kind of shifted over and increased or something. So Hikigaya and Iraha are alone on the train, and the things that she does and the things that she says, they just conflict with each other. She's talking about Hayato's rejection, but also how Hikigaya changed her, and how she saw him telling the others about how he wanted something genuine or genuine. I don't know. There's one line in there in which she says, "Besides, when you worry about someone you rejected," and that might come into play later. I don't know. After telling Hikigaya that he changed her, Iraha she whispers into his ear, "Take responsibility." And that scene got me. It's so romantic, and oh man, it's like she's trying to charm him or something. And Hikigaya is finally getting down to business, and he contacts everyone so they can actually get to work, get the work done on the project for the Christmas thing. And the one thing I really admire about this character is, like, he takes charge when he needs to. And one of the guys with Iraha says that he'd rather not have them cause any waves, not cause any problems there, but being submissive like that is exactly why they have so many problems now, because no one's actually stood up to this guy besides Hikigaya. Like, everyone else is just kind of like not saying anything or encouraging what he says. And they're in the main meeting, including Iraha's group with Yukino, Yui, and Hikigaya. And Hikigaya has to stand up for everyone again, and he addresses the fact that Tamanawa's system is, it's not getting anything done. And I didn't get the whole thing with the other students blindly following his instruction and constantly saying, "Preach it." Maybe that was just comedy. But then when Hikigaya actually says something, they think there's like some miscommunication. And they're like, "Oh yeah, let's take a break." And I was like, what? Let's take a break? They're not doing anything. And then after that, Yukino, she has to get involved, and she's even harsher, asking people to leave since they're not really helping. And in life, you have to let people down. You can't allow everyone to be right. Someone may have a better idea, or an idea that involves using a cheaper budget, and you have to notice that. Like, they need to cut down to one idea. And Iraha, she scolds the two for what they said, but they weren't wrong in the slightest. And Tamanawa, he seems like a nice guy, but he wasn't helpful. I felt bad because he was kind of upset over the matter, but yeah, you're not helping anyone. You're causing more problems, so you're not like a good leader. And Kaori and Hikigaya get a small scene by the beverage machines or the soda machines, and then she tells him that he's changed. And I don't like her for the fact that she's still kind of insulting him. Maybe that's just her personality. I don't think she notices what she's doing. Like, calling someone boring when you have a bad relationship with them isn't good at all. Or telling him he's not boyfriend material. Like, she's the reason why he doesn't want to make friends. She's the reason why he's like this in a way. And I really wish season 1 and season 2 came out together, because this is such a deep series, and I would have rather had watched all this together rather than watching season 1 last year and then watching season 2 this year, because you forget details, and I'm not gonna rewatch this. I'm gonna be honest. Unless this is English dubbed on TV, I'm not gonna rewatch the anime. Maybe years later down the line, it's oh, I forgot what happened in the series, and I'll watch it. But as far as right now, I'm not gonna watch it. So the Christmas event goes off without a hitch, with them having a band, some kind of dinner or lunch, and then they have a play. And they use the intro from season 1 in the scene too, and I love that. I love that so much. And I like the scene with Hikigaya calling Iraha like the president or prez as she goes on stage for her event, and he caused all this, and it's so awesome. It's like watching your child go off, or like the bird leave the nest in a way. The three are back at the club, and they finally give Hikigaya his own cup. See, this show just has me thinking, like, I don't even know if that's important or not. Hikigaya has his own cup now. And Yukino basically says that his request isn't complete. He's searching for something genuine, but what could that be? And seriously though, he said that so he should know what that means in a way. I mean, the fact that he cried about it too, it's really confusing. I feel like you would understand what you're saying. You could have said, like, I'm searching for a real relationship and I feel like our friendship isn't that real, or something like that. And there's a key scene with Hikigaya talking about how he doesn't wish for anything, and something that's handed to you on a silver platter isn't genuine. And I'll just talk about it now, I guess. Perhaps right now, in this moment, that's what is genuine to him. Just hanging out with his friends and talking to them and stuff. The past and the present, the past and the future are things you have to look back to. You know, you have to look back at the past, you have to look forward to the future. But the present, it just kind of happens whether you like it or not. And it's not handed to you or something you search for. That's what I think he's looking for. He's looking for what he already has, I guess. I don't know. I get into this like later in the review, but like at this point, that's what I thought. Yui, Hikigaya, Komachi, and Yukino are at the shrines. Yukino's birthday is coming up. Komachi leaves Hikigaya and Yukino alone. And I like this scene because he tries to leave, and she calls him stupid, and then she even uses his name, Hachimen, as an insult. They go on a train, and Hikigaya encourages her to be with her family. And this is like around New Year's. Yui and Hikigaya are shopping for Yukino, and they run into Haruno and Hayato. And Haruno calls Yukino, and then she gives Hikigaya the phone, and then she comes right away. And that's so crazy that she would come to the mall right away for him. But Haruno's testing like everyone, because Haruno, she's like, she knows what's going on. And okay, so Yukino declines to come when Haruno asks, but when she gives the phone to Hikigaya, she comes immediately. See, things like that. Haruno and Yukino's mom arrives, and Yukino is clearly like distraught over the situation, and then she even looks to Hikigaya for help. Like, this girl she's having issues. I just don't like Haruno for this, and even in a later episode. I mean, she could almost seem like an antagonist at this point, or like the villain of the series. A series like this isn't going to really have a villain, but you know, she's kind of like, she has the qualities of an antagonist. But it also seems like she's just trying to push her sister to become her own person. And then, I mean, maybe this is just her way of going about it. It just doesn't seem that good. The trio is talking about the situation at the club, plus Iraha, and it's pretty much a misleading thing. And people probably, what am I talking about? Oh wow, I skipped a part. Okay, I was like, what am I talking about? So, back at the school, the students are discussing their plans for the future, and then there's a rumor going around that Hayato and Yukino are dating, and Hayato gets upset about it immediately, and Yumiko is concerned, of course. She kind of acts like he's her property or something. She's like overly concerned, and I don't know if this was brought up, if I brought this up. I don't think I brought it up in the review. It was mentioned earlier in the season that Hayato likes someone whose name starts with a Y. Plus, his family has a past with Yukino's family, so it's very likely that he likes her. And the trio is talking about a situation at the club, plus Iraha, and it was pretty much a misleading thing, and people probably just saw them together, and then they just kind of assumed, and then the rumor kind of spread around the high school. And Iraha brings up how girls have been asking Hayato questions about his dating life since the rumors started basically as a test, and she even goes to Hikigaya. She even like does it to Hikigaya. And does that mean what she did with Hayato before it could have been a test, you know, when she confessed to him? I don't know. The thing about this series is that like it's going to have to end eventually. And it's fairly obvious that both girls like him at this point. And anything he does is something that they notice. So he's going to have to either pick one of them or no one, or Iraha, which probably isn't going to happen, but she's kind of slowly becoming part of the harem as well. Also, I doubt this show will continue after high school, so they have like one more year, maybe one or two more light novel volumes, I'd say. Yumiko comes into the club asking about the situation with Hayato, and I love how Yukino talks to her. Like, I don't even care. Yumiko, like, deserved it. Even if Yukino was kind of disrespectful in a way, I don't like Yumiko's personality, and, like, she's kind of aggressive, she's kind of rude, so she deserves it. She's kind of getting upset over some words, so, like, trying to get violent a little and stuff, like hitting the desk or the table. And they've come such a long way. You know, Hikigaya is comforting Yukino, and she's fine as long as her friends understand her, but still she's having that identity crisis. So, like, I feel like this is kind of the strong Yukino coming out. Like, she's used to being, like, treated like this at school, so she would have to develop a personality like that, but she's still depending on Hachimen and Yui. So Yumiko puts in a club request to see what are Hayato's future plans. She wants to keep the friendship or her love interest, I guess. And this time the trio is together, but again, Hikigaya feels like it would be better if he did this alone. So Hikigaya confronts Hayato after practice and Hayato tells him to stop being bothersome. And then he says he's joking, but it seemed like he was serious. He keeps his future private business, and he wants Hikigaya to figure it out himself. And I'm not sure why it's such a big deal what Hayato's doing for the future. I can understand, like, wanting to keep up with your friends, but I don't really care what major or, like, career my friends go into. I guess that's me. I guess, like, close friends, even then, I've asked. Like, I have a lot of friends, but some friends aren't as close, so I don't really care what they're doing. But I guess, like, close friends, you kind of want to know what they're doing. You want to make a little bit of, like, conversation, but it doesn't matter if they answer or not, to me, I would say. So, Saika, Saika. He's going to go into tennis for his future. Harano arrives at the school, and I just don't like her. And Yukino asks Harano about Hayato's future, and Harano knows, but she won't tell her. She even flat out gives Hikigaya the answer in a way as they're walking home. And somehow Saika helps Hikigaya get into a race that the school's doing. And then that got me excited because it reminded me of track. What they're doing is more similar to cross country, like running on all types of terrain and everything. But I did track in high school. I also did a little bit of cross country, but I didn't like that one at all. And track wasn't very fun, but I started to like running like competitively. I started to like that more because of it. Just like running in general is fun if you're going against someone, but not like going out, hey, let's go run for 20 minutes. That was cross country. Like, let's go run for 20 minutes. That's just our warm-up, guys. I was like, what? Yeah. So Hikigaya starts off with asking if Yumiko is helpful and using to avoid other girls. And in a way, he's not wrong for like what he's saying about Hayato, because that's kind of what it seems like. I mean, you have this girl who likes you around you all the time, and you don't really acknowledge her feelings in any way. And then he proceeds to tell Hayato to pick sciences because of there's like less people in that field, and he can avoid people. I don't know. Hayato's having issues, and Hayato's been getting a lot of focus this season, but I don't know what his problem is. It's like he's too popular. He has to live up to people's expectations or something. That's kind of what it seems like to me. And then Hayato says that he hates Hikigaya, and I kind of figured it would be something like this because his behavior has just been off for a while, and even like with the stuff for the finale of season 1, he got violent towards Hikigaya. He feels inferior to Hikigaya, and what I'm taking from that is that Hikigaya has Yukino and he doesn't. That's literally the only thing. Like, he's the popular guy that everyone likes. He can't get the girl of his dreams, and he can't control that. So he wants the two of them to at least be equal. So Hayato runs off. Hikigaya falls over as he's trying to catch up to Hayato, and Hayato doesn't help him at all. And I guess he was right about not being as nice as Hiki thinks, because I would have helped him and still tried to win the race. But Hayato wins the race, and we get an amazing moment with Hikigaya and Yukino in the nurse's office, and she's helping him with his knee, and then they get close, and I swear someone was about to move in that scene. I think Yukino was about to move in for the kiss, and that's the closest we got into the kiss, and I really wanted it to happen. Hikigaya has to pick her. She's the one. Yukino, you're the one. They kind of talk about Yukino's future, and Yukino is going into international liberal arts, and it's not important at the moment, but I think it was in the next episode it was a little bit important. So all the students are at some sort of dinner. Yukino thanks Hayato for being considerate of her for the rumor, and what I wanted to talk about was the conversation between Hikigaya and Hayato. Hayato says relationships won't reset just because you move up a year or go to university. Hikigaya disagrees, and I disagree too. My group of friends increased from year to year, but you can kind of think of it as like in a story, in a way, I guess, concerning school. So for year one, Melvin and some friends were Melvin and some friends were the main character, but for year two, Melvin and different friends were the main character. So some old friends may have still been around, but the group of friends, like, it changes. And the only way you're going to keep a group of friends is like if you're really pushing for the friendship. And I think the main characters in your life change over time. Not your family per se, but your friends. So like if my old friends were in the class or on my lunch, we didn't talk. And I just made new friends and became close with other people. So relationships kind of change when you don't talk. Unless like you're best friends or something. It'll be awkward because like you forget how to talk to people, like certain friends and stuff. So my friends and I haven't really talked after high school ended. Maybe a few, but like they have their college friends. Like I can see them online getting excited all over like their college friends and everything. And while I like my high school friends more, my college friends are kind, and some people appear to be very attached to their college friends. I mean, I've only known them for a year, maybe some of them like a few months, so I wouldn't say like our bonds are super close, but I mean, I like some of the college friends, but if I had to say like the close friends, they're all from high school. They're not from college. So, let me see where I'm at. I mean, I talk to a few friends, but I have good bonds. I talk to some friends that I have good bonds with, but even some of the others I thought I had good bonds with, we don't really talk. Sometimes friendships only exist when you're around people. So if a friend reads my message and doesn't reply, I'm gonna stop talking to them, or I'm gonna stop trying. And things like that led me to come up with the idea that some friendships only exist in person. You know, people move on with their lives, and you can try to hold on to those good times, but they just can't last forever. And you know, everyone is going in different directions. That's why you should cherish the time you have. And that's why I think the present is genuine. That's kind of like my answer for Hikigaya, I guess. And I don't see why no one has like flat out told Hikigaya that Yukino likes him. Yes, it's like it's obvious, but like in real life, I think someone would have brought that up. You know, Hikigaya tells Hayato that he hates him too. I don't really know about that. They're still kind of friendly with each other, but it's just like everyone. They've kind of brought it up, but they won't actually tell him. Like Komachi knows, Haruno knows, Hayato knows, but they won't say that like these girls like him. And I don't know why. Because Hayato's like, you haven't noticed it yet, but you're not going to tell him. So I'm almost done. Let me see where I'm at. I am at 21 minutes. So yeah, this will have to be split up. The next episode starts off with Hikigaya and Haruno getting coffee, and they're discussing why Yukino told him about her future, but it's the reason she told him, the reason that she told him isn't trust. Haruno described it as being something far sinister, so I was thinking, could it be like her love for Hikigaya? And I thought about it, and Haruno said that she hasn't changed a bit. That means Yukino is still trying to be like someone else. She's trying to be like Hikigaya, or she's kind of letting him do everything, and that pretty much reinforced what happens in the next episode. So Hikigaya and Yui arrive at the club, and a lot of girls want to learn how to make chocolates. So we have Iraha, Yukimo, Hina, and Saki. I'm sorry, this is a long video. we're getting little hints that Saki may like Hikigaya too, so that'd be cool. Yumiko and Ira want to make chocolate for Hayato, but he won't accept them. So Hiki comes up with the idea that just to have him like sample their chocolates, and then everyone is there, including the other school groups and Haruno. And there's some things that come out with like Chika giving Hikigaya chocolates for the first time, or at least talking about it, and Yukino giving Haruno. She gave Haruno sweets, but in reality. She gave Hayato sweets, but in reality, she also gave them to her sister Haruno. And then we have a scene with Yukino dropping a bowl and continuing to drop it as Hikigaya tries to help her. And that was a good scene for the two. And Shizuka is proud to have like watched over Hikigaya as he's grown. I'm gonna take another break because I've been talking for a while, so this is kind of like really, for me, it's part 3, but for you guys, it's like part 2. So this will be split up. Don't worry. Anyways, guys, I'll be back.